Anyị na-eto Chineke onye kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke eke kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke onye kere ụwa. Anyị na-eto Chineke eke kere ụwa. Maka ihe ọma niile o mere anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke. Anyị ekele onye kere ụwa maka ihe o mere anyị. Anyị na-eto Chineke, anyị ekele Ọkatọnda, anyị ekele Olodumare maka ihe o mere anyị. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'aka ekpe. Ọ nọ n'aka nri n'ihu anyị, n'azụ anyị, n'ihu anyị. Anyị ekele Chineke.
Ndewo. Ndewo is greetings in Igbo Nigerian language, but it also has a deeper meaning. I say this all the time, and that is long life to all of you. Welcome to a very, very special show. Today we are honoring Queen Mother Nana Osun Dara. For those of you who don't know her, you will get to know her today because we have assembled some individuals that are going to share with us some information about this beautiful sister that just passed away recently. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you to Chineke, the Most High, for this wonderful opportunity that all of us call today. There are so many people. We should be so grateful that we are walking amongst the living. There are so many people who got bombed up yesterday, lost their lives through crime, lost their lives through illness. And as a matter of fact, we are celebrating the life of a person who lost her life through illness. So we must be grateful. For those of you who don't know me, I would like to introduce myself. And I want to introduce myself fully because for the most part, I always say, okay, Dibia Ochwaja, Dr. Wonyon Hosimiri. But I want to share, because we are talking about a woman who was a part of our organization. I want to introduce myself to you, and then we'll introduce our organization and all the other individuals who are part of this organization. I am the most senior spiritual leader of Global Faith Ministries of Chiism International and the Continental Envoy for the Guardian Religion for the Americas. I'm the Ogele of Nkuru, the Ojugo of Owerri, and the Ezewanyi of Akokwa. And that is why I have to introduce myself, because we are talking about somebody of stature. So we need to know all who she has been surrounding herself with and those who knew her. I want to also introduce my co-host, Dibia Ochwaja Yudi Onyoha, Senior Spiritual Leader of Global Faith Ministries of Chiism and High Chief Priest for North and South America for the Guardian Religion. Yudi Ndewo.
Ndewo Kao.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to welcome, I think he's still having difficulty getting in, and that is Ochwaja Ikenna Osinore, Spiritual Leader of Global Faith Ministries of Chiism International and the High Chief Priest of the Guardian Religion for the United States. He's still trying to get in. I don't know where he's having some technical challenges. The next person I want to bring in is Nnamdi Osimiri. Nnamdi is the president of Native Design Group. And he has known, he's my son, and he has known Queen Mother Osun Dara since he was a little one. So, Nnamdi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We want you to share what you know about Queen Mother today. Our special guests today are Ashiki Ajamu. Ashiki is the Global Operations Director at Wing Global Holdings Firm, LLC. In Fontana, California. It's an investment management organization. And he is the son of Queen Mother Osun Dara. And so we're going to bring him in and his lovely wife. How are you? How are you?
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, he's coming.
He's coming. Okay.
He's coming. Let me go get him.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to bring him in when he's ready. And of course, it is my pleasure to add to the stream our very dear friend, Chief Paimba Walimo. Am I saying it right? Chief Paimba, can you hear me? Chief Paimba, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's
Okay.
not, it's breaking up.
Yeah, I see that you're kind of breaking up. Chief Paimba is one of the Fihankra chiefs and has been a great friend to Queen Mother Osun Dara. So he's going to share his thoughts about Queen Mother Osun Dara. Someone else that is going to join us is Adora Simone Lewis, who is the president of Goth in the Raw. And she knew Queen Mother very, very well. And as a matter of fact, when I let her know that Queen Mother is no longer with us, she really literally lost it. And I'm going to bring back in. Hello, Ashiki. How are you? Welcome.
Hello.
There are going to be other people who will join us, and we're going to have commentary from people in the community who know this woman. And I just want to, before we get started, I just wanted to introduce Queen Mother Osun Dara through a video. I made a video for her that is on her Facebook page, but at the same time, I made another one because it has some really interesting pictures. Her son, Ashiki, you'll be thrilled to see some of these pictures, particularly a picture of you when you were maybe about 6 years old. Oh,
wow.
So pay attention to this video. You will see. So we're going to get started before we actually before we start talking about her. Let me add this video to the stream.
Not a duck.
There you are. I don't know if you caught that, Ashiki, where you were very little. Did you see that? Yes. Okay.
Yes, I did.
We're going to talk about this. You did. We're going to talk about this video a little later, but I just want to briefly introduce her. We are celebrating the life of High Chief Priestess, Queen Mother Nana Osun Dara.
Yes.
She was a legend in the city of Detroit
Yeah.
and all over the world. She's an ancestor now, depending on the culture. But in my culture, she's still on her journey to return, to reincarnate greater still. She was a global ambassador to the world, an Osun priestess. And what people don't know, she was a guardian spiritual leader. She was the high chief priest for the guardian religion for the Western states. This was a position given to her by His Holiness Ahanke Oke Onyoha, the spiritual head of guardian religion worldwide, the founder of guardian religion. And she was also an Osun priestess. You see, I have to share this with you. When I came to Detroit, I didn't know anyone. It was a lonely, when you move somewhere, it's a little bit lonely. But I was told by, I can't think of her name right now, it will come to me, that there's a lady, because I was talking about culture and spirituality, African culture and spirituality. I was the continental envoy for guardian religion. And my dad, says, you have to spread it in America. I didn't know anybody. Who do I spread? Where do I start? I didn't know. And then I was told to go and meet this woman. Well, I met her. I'm telling you, she was an electrifying spirit. She was electrifying, and she listened to what now she was much younger then, and so was I. She listened to what I was saying. And when my father, His Holiness, came to Michigan, she always hosted him. When we started a church in Michigan, she started it with us. Osun Dara never said no to anything that enlightened African spirituality, anything that uplifted the African people.
Yes.
She was there. You could talk. She would sit with you for hours. When His Holiness came to Michigan, she would sit with him for hours, nonstop, listening, until my dad said, "You see that woman? That's a powerful spirit. She has to be a part of this movement." And then when he got her into it, she didn't say no, because she believes in anything African. It doesn't matter what angle she was in. Those was an Osun priestess. She understood what the Guardian religion was trying to achieve: the emancipation, the spiritual emancipation of people. She was all in it, and that's what she became, the high chief priest for the Guardian religion for the Western states. She was formidable. And the woman had powers. I'm gonna tell you very honestly, she had powers that you didn't know. I mean, you knew she knew a lot of things. She knew she could feed you and make you feel better. But one thing happened one day that told me, oh my God, who is this woman? She had been installed by His Holiness and the kings from Ghana. The chiefs from Ghana, they made her the Queen Mother for Detroit, for Fahankra, and for Ghana. But what really told me this woman, there was something powerful about this woman, was one day I went to her home in Detroit and she fed me. I was like full, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't drink. So, you know, she doesn't drink. So I certainly didn't drink. But what was amazing was on my way leaving her house, I had just turned right onto the main road and I saw it, and it was a narrow road. So it could only accommodate one car at a time. This big heavy bus coming behind me. And it wasn't slowing down. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing is going to hit me. It wasn't slowing down. There was no passenger in the bus, just the driver. But he didn't seem to have seen my car, or at least he wasn't paying attention. I knew, I braced for impact. I said, oh my God. And you know how they say your life starts to flash before you? That's what I saw. I just saw my family. I knew this was it. This was the end, because this thing was speeding so fast and would not stop. So I waited for the impact. Next thing I knew, the bus was in front of me. But how could that be? There was no space where that bus could have come through. So I opened my eyes. Nothing had happened. And there's the bus speeding on in front of me. And guess who called me? Queen Mother Osun Dara called and said, are you okay? And I started screaming. I said, yes, there was a bus behind me and he almost hit me. He said, but you're okay? I said, yes, I'm okay. He says, okay, well, get home safely. So I was so nervous, so shaken up. I parked the car and I called her to explain to her what happened. She says, I know, we know these things, but you're okay, right? That's when I knew this woman was more powerful than we knew. Whether she had anything to do with it, but the fact that this thing didn't hit me, and she knew, she told me, go home. You'll be all right. That told me this woman was powerful. I can go on and on about Queen Mother, but I want all of you to walk in. Let me start with you, Ashiki, the son. Tell us about your mother. I mean, how is it to be raised by such a powerful spirit? Tell us about her.
Well, she, you know, she taught me actually that when we speak about our ancestors and about our people, it's not that they, you know, we don't really do funerals in this time. We do celebrations. So it's not as if we're doing a funeral, we're doing a celebration. And that's what one major thing she taught me, as well as when we speak as people was to, okay, to more so think of it that they is, because when it is, then it exists the same as Ashe. So she taught me the power of Ashe, so shall it be, and that it really is. So we were, excuse me. So and the most that she taught me out of everything is that I am an African living in America. So that my heritage and my people and who we are and what we represent means so much to the world. And it's to describe her. There's only one word that I could, or maybe two. Wow, and greatness. To walk in. To this moment, I never really noticed her importance, because your role as a son really isn't the same as who she is to the people. And as I learned now over it all, is she is the Queen Mother, and she's the Queen Mother of the people. Yes, she was my mom, but she had a service that was always to the people, and she instilled that to me, and instilled honesty and always being one with yourself, one with your God within you, and that you walk into the trueness and pureness. It's been an honor to even think of someone like her as your mother. It's almost equivalent to being with somewhat of a saint, and you just don't even realize it. She used to always tell me, "You don't know who I am." Because I'm you always look at, well, you my mom. So I'm pretty sure that Dami could understand. like I'm pretty sure that he's like, well, you don't know all that I do, you don't know. And we as children looking at you like, but you're my mom. That is what you give to other people, but you're my mom. And I'm pretty sure that Dami understands. And just what she's given to so many people. Only thing I could do now is pick up the torch that she's passed to me and light the flame, unify our people, to work with our people, to strengthen our people, as well as what we're working on now is a monument. And that monument isn't just based around my mom. It's actually based around people like yourself, Auntie Uwa, people like Chief Pie, people that are the pillars of Detroit and the ones that are living or they transcend to leave that legacy that you all have built, because my mom didn't do this alone. She did this with you all too. So what we're doing is putting together a monument that tells the people, it tells the world of your works together, and how it is so important. Because when we look at the world, and my mom just showed me how they try to discredit us as a people, discredit all that we've brought to this world, discredit every aspect of our accomplishments. Like when she simply explained, well, you know, when you look at Africa, they always talk about Egypt. And Egypt was a great place. It is a great place. But what about the rest of Africa? Their
That's right.
accomplishments, everything that they put into this world, everything everyone took from them that they don't even know that exists, came from Africa. Us as a people came from Africa. We so she just taught me so much that you would never find in school. School would never teach you the things that she's taught me, and how to just be a better person, to live up to who she is, as well as to you all that has been with her along the way. For us as the next generation to live up to that is an honor. I wouldn't dare say that it's a challenge. It's an honor for us to be able to take that torch that you all passed to us, so that we can make sure that everything just keeps going, because we know, because we lived in your shoe prints. Chief Pi and Auntie, you both walked and made the path for us in the sand, and it is for Brother Dami and myself to follow that path. You know, we can't do it like y'all did it, but we have to do it our way, but make sure that the message is there, and make sure that our people know who we are, and make sure that your works and my mom's works is always remembered in stone. So that's what we're working on, having that monument in stone, and we're trying to get that at the the Charles H. Wright Museum outside. So when people walk up, they know who you are, and that they will always remember the works that you and my mom has done together, as well as Guardianism, and that should be on that monument as well. So that's what my mom has given me, a legacy to carry on. That's not just going to end with me. It will transcend to my children and their children's children's too, so they will know who we are, and the works that you and my mother, Chief Pi, and everyone has done to make this happen right here in Detroit as a nucleus.
That is wonderful. I mean, and the tribute for her is so earned. Go to her Facebook page and you will know who this woman is. It is pouring. The condolences is amazing. It's amazing. I went in there and I'm like, oh my God, you know, she's loved. She was just so powerful. I mean, there was no event that she wasn't invited to do the libations, because libations is very powerful. It's that connection between us and our ancestors. And she does it so beautifully with her, you know, that people want to hear her. If you stand before her, you know, you would be amazed. I want to give you a chance to say something yourself. How about you? Your wife?
Oh, yes. It's no words to explain the love that I have for Nana. I called her Nana, and she wanted me to call her Nana. And I'm so honored to be her daughter-in-law. I'm so honored to carry her lineage through my children, and I see her in my children. I see her. I'm so honored that even though she transcended, that I'm able to see her through my children. And I just would like to say she was an amazing woman, and I saw God in her. I can feel love from her. It's not a lot of people that you can actually feel the love. I actually felt love, and I learned a lot from her. Just like Shiki was saying, I learned a lot from her as far as the culture. I respect her so much. As far as keeping the African spirituality going, and also like Shiki said, us being able to pass that down to our children. And right before she transcended and was sick and things and going in the hospital, she was just about to start to teach our daughter spirituality. She wanted us to bring her over so she could learn spirituality. And I was just really excited about that. And she was excited about that. And, you know, Kiki was saying, we want to keep the lineage going. We don't want this to die out because as a lot of people know, a lot of the traditions, the spiritual traditions in that has, you know, is dying out. People are not into the religions or the traditions anymore. And we have to keep it going. And Nana, she fought to keep it going. She fought for us. She stood in the gap for African people and people of the diaspora. She stood in the gap, and I just love her. There's no words that can explain, you know, how I love her. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm coming to terms with it because my plan was when she came out of the hospital, I would take her on myself and take care of her until she was well. I just love her, and she knew I would do anything for her. And as you know, Dr. Ua, I was 4 o'clock in the morning doing a video for her for your show. Yeah, and so I told Nana said, you know, thank you so much, Simone. And I said, Nana, and she was over her cousin's house in California. I said, Nana, you know, I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. And she knew it. She knew. She totally has my heart. I feel like I lost my mother. That's how I feel. I feel that I lost my own mother because I loved her, and I know that she loved me in that way. And so I feel that I lost my own mother. I'm sorry for crying, but I just love her so much.
And she, one of the things is that our relationship with her now has changed. It's now spiritual. It's no longer physical, but it's spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to read something from the Guardian Envoy for Europe, Obionyoha. She says, from the Guardian Envoy for Europe, we send our condolences to her family. A great tree fell. May her soul rest in peace. So that's one thing I want to read. And I want to read something else, then I'll bring another speaker in. I had the opportunity, this is from Dr. Nobantu Amkowanda. I had the opportunity to meet Queen Mother in Detroit during my visit 3 years ago during the Nkobra conference. Thanks to Mama Nsombe, we stayed at the same sustainable village where she resided. I was blessed to have a long, inspiring conversation with her. That's right. Conversations with her was always inspiring. How about, let me bring in Chief Paimba. Chief Paimba, how are you? Come on in. Just let's hear it. What are your thoughts about the Queen?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna have you work on your sound. We're having some sound challenges from you. Can you hear? Can you speak now? Let me see how we're doing. Okay.
Morning. Hello?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you.
Getting disconnected, so I hope I can get it in on time. All I can say is Queen Mother was bigger than life. You know, she wasn't just a person acting in the community. I know Ashiki said the monument because she couldn't have done it without all of you, but she recruited us. She would call us and say, "Hey, Paimba, Kwamensa is sick. You know, we're going to drive up to Akron. And you didn't say we did many libations together. I assisted her most of the time, which was unusual. And a lot of people didn't like it, but then she took control of it. Usually a man in Ghana, I know they pour libations, but she took the role here in America, and she embraced the role, and she did it. She had the chiefs assist her, and she loved to do it. She went everywhere. She belonged to so many organizations. I don't know how she got time to sleep, because she belonged to just about every ethnic organization. And she wasn't a member. She was a facilitator in each one. She was running things when she got in there. She had a leadership role. We went to Oberlin to Mother Wisdom's church, and she was instrumental in her church as well as in her life. And I remember her telling me when she was in the hospital, Mother Wisdom, and she kept asking Queen Mother to save me. They're trying to kill me. Queen Mother wasn't related to her, but she broke into the hospital and said, y'all not going to, they had to throw her out of the hospital because she was trying.
Okay, we're having
to save Mother Wisdom from them coming. We think they gave her an overdose of morphine, and she died anyway. But Queen Mother.
Okay, we're going to come back to you. We're going to come back to you, Chief. I think that she many trips at that house, and she went to court. Now she's, I'm gonna put a curse on those. You know, and she's leadership. Chief Kwamensa was the chief of Ohio, and Queen Mother was the Queen Mother of Fiancra, and he embraced her in a special way. Well, we would go there, you know, when he got sick, she would round up the people. Let's go heal Kwamensa. And when Kamau got sick, she was on the case. Every time someone got sick, she would have a remedy. She would say, I went into my temple, I consulted my God, and this is what they told me to give them. And we said, okay. And she'd go and minister to them. So Queen Mother was just, she is into so many things. I don't know. Like I said, she seemed like she was a legend. She was bigger than life. Yeah. She, when you look back on it, she seemed like a person to me because I spent so much time with her. But when you step back and look, you say, oh my God, how did she do all these things? Yeah. I mean, she was in everything and she was active in them. She wasn't passive, sitting back and looking. She was actually taking a role in all of these things. Everything. And it was cross-culture. It was in the Indian culture, the African culture. They didn't care whether they were Muslims, whether they were Christians. She was there for all of them. Yeah. So she's gonna be really missed in my life. I'll just miss her voice. You know, calling me on my birthday. She'd always call me on my birthday and sang her song. She had a little birthday song she made up and she'd sing it. And she'd call me a day late. And I say, Queen Mother, how can you forget my birthday? I said, my birthday is the same as Amal's, the same as Amali. You know, the three of us all have the same day. She said, it don't matter. We celebrate all month. So I'm not late. I'm just a day early. You know? And she was that way, you know. And I still haven't processed it. I can't imagine that she's not here. And I won't understand that she's not here until some event happens. When some person in the cultural community dies,
then I'll know that she's not here because she will not pour libations.
Yes.
She was all at everybody's funeral, making a fuss over everybody. And when I thought about it, I said, well, I hope I die before Queen Mother because I want her to make the fuss over my funeral. And now it doesn't seem like she's gone, because she organized everything and everybody. And she was there for all of them. And you say, how does she know? How does she know so many people, But she just lived her life. She didn't let her life live her. She took a bite out of it. And when she died, she didn't have long suffering. She went relatively quickly after traveling because she loved the South. And she sent me from California because she called me before she left and said, what's Dr. Zarif's number? I want to get in touch with him. And she sent me pictures of him and her hanging out in California. And then she came back, and shortly after that, she was hospitalized. I called her Shiki, and we were sure she wasn't going to die. She says, oh, she going to get over this battle. Her diet is good, her spirit is good, her will is strong. I just knew she was going to walk out of that hospital.
Yes.
And when it happened, like I said, I still haven't processed it.
I want to thank you so much for your contribution, and we'll continue. Please don't go anywhere because
I don't leave it until something happens, and I look around and she won't be there. And I'll miss her voice.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you miss all of it.
I would like to bring in Onyoha, who met her in Detroit one time, but
I won't go anywhere a couple of times, so I might have to check back in.
Okay.
All right.
Go on, Yudi. You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You're muted.
All right, I'm just carrying on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I forgot to mute myself. No, Chief Paimba is right. She made a great impression on me when I first met her in Michigan. I think it was when we were having the award ceremony. You had an award show at the University of Phoenix, and I had met her there, and she just made a great impression on me. What a lot of people may not know is our first foray into social media on YouTube. We had a show, Dr. Osimiri had a show, and it was called Chiism, Godianism Today. And the series was called Not in God's Name. And I think we had a total of 15 different segments.
Yes.
And Chief Osun Dara, Queen Mother, was a co-host of that show with Dr. Osimiri, and of course, I was the guy doing all the technical stuff to make sure that the show, went on and came up the way it was supposed to. And I got to tell you, every time we had a segment and she was on that show, it just gave me hope that eventually we will truly overcome. Your mother, Queen Mother, she was rare. She was really different. And when I say she's different, what I really mean is she had courage.
Yes.
She was very courageous. There are very few people, both male and female, that you could say are really courageous. And I'm not talking about raising your family and getting up and going to work and paying the bills. These are things that everybody has to do if you want to survive. Yeah. But I'm talking about people that will step out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
And take the interest of the community at heart and put themselves on the line to make sure that she is like a buffer between the craziness and the fight for emancipation, right? When you talk about all the great Africans, the Kwame Nkrumahs and all that, and I'm putting her in the same category, right? I'm going to put her right there with you know, the Underground Railroad and all that stuff. All the great African American and African women and men that you talk about, I'm putting out there. And the reason I'm putting out there is because a lot of these folks were concerned with things that affected us as people of African ancestry. But mostly they talked about physical emancipation.
Mm-hmm.
Then they talked about the fight for equal rights. But you didn't hear too many people talking about spiritual emancipation of the African. The Queen Mother was right there with guardians.
Say it again.
With those people that truly understood that the emancipation of the African is up here.
That's right.
But you could take the chains off.
Yes.
You could have all the rights in the world you want to. But if your mind is not African-centered, if you're not thinking about like an African, if you don't consider the contributions that people of African ancestry made to civilized behavior before they came to our shores with the Quran and the Bible, then you are fighting a fight that is perpetual. You are fighting a fight that has no ending. But once the mind is emancipated, the fight is over. She was part of the soldiers of Chineke. And, you know, there's a saying in Africa, we say that, which simply means the lizard fell from the tree and survived the fall. Nobody said anything. The leader said, well, if you are not going to say something about this feat of survival, I'm going to say something about myself.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it is easy to fall from the tree and survive it and not get a pat on the back, I'm going to pat myself.
That's right.
And the Queen Mother patted herself. She understood how important she was, you know, to us, to her community. But the good news is that she didn't have to just pat herself.
Yes.
We're patting her on the back.
That's right.
Because she has always been part of that fight. She refused to accept the status quo. And in my mind's eye, she's always going to be one of the greatest Africans that ever lived.
Yes. And His Holiness used to call her the greatest African woman of the 20th century.
Yes. Yeah.
He always used that. And you know, what I love about Paimba Osun Dara is that every time I call her, the first thing she tells me is, you know, I poured libations today and I called His Holiness. I always call Chief KOK because I always have to have a conversation. And when I heard that she had died, I said, well, you know what? There's a lot of conversation in the spirit world right now because I know they are keeping the heart over there talking and chatting. And know how my mother is there too. I said, wow, it's busy up there. I also want to add one thing just to remind people that there is fundraising for Queen Mother. Please consider a donation to a celebration and memorial status for Queen Mother Nana Osun Dara. This is going to keep running. The link is going to keep running until the end of the show. Please take the time and write it down, please. When I go there and I see that we haven't raised $1 million yet, I'm annoyed because we should be way over that. That woman deserves more than what we've got there. So let's go in there and pump in some money. We got the money. Come on, people. You know, I don't care what it is. Whatever you can give, she deserves it. That she deserves what they're trying to do for her. Devoted a lifetime to us. I mean, it's not going to kill any one of us to dish out whatever little you can, whatever donation you can make. You're making it to say thank you. You're not making it to say, oh, well, I'll do a little bit. No, you're saying thank you to somebody who devoted her life giving to us. So please read what's scrolling on there. If you've got a pen, get a paper, write it down. It's going to keep scrolling throughout this program. There's no limitation in terms of time. We're going to talk and talk until we're exhausted because she deserves it. So I want to bring in my son, Nnamdi Osimiri. Nnamdi knew her. What are your comments, Nnamdi? And then I see Adora's coming. Go, Nnamdi.
Well, oh man. First and foremost, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. To her son, my condolences once again. To be honest, there were at least 3 things that I personally was able to connect and remember from Auntie Osun Dara. That was one of them. She would always, every time that I talked to her, she would always say, "Hey Namdi, it's your auntie." And that was, for me, that was really significant because she was a part of the family. She was basically, she was like a second mother. I know that she was definitely a mother to the community, but like personally, she was like a second mother. The other thing that I remember is how uplifting she actually was in the spiritual community. She definitely was a powerhouse. Like Chief Paimba said, she was larger than life. She was also one of the only other women that I saw, besides my mother, that would pour libations at every event, no matter what someone said. In the States, internationally, she held it down.
Yes.
The only 2 women, seriously, I know that there's others, but the only 2 women that I've ever seen take charge and be almost just as powerful, speaking in front of other individuals, in front of the men, in front of the chiefs, in front of the kings, and would hold no holds bar, speak their mind, say what needs to be said, and would actually catch the attention of other individuals that would either they would go from turning their nose up to having to listen.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's inspirational, especially for other women and young girls that would see her, and realize that when it comes down to that spiritual emancipation, a woman can take charge as well.
Yes.
And she definitely was a pillar for that, especially in Detroit. Yes. But just internationally, she was internationally known for that. Yeah. One of the other things that I remember about her was her cooking. Man, her couscous.
Yes, couscous.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Her couscous, every time that we had service, if she wasn't bringing her couscous, I had a problem. When she did, I was getting at least 2 or 3 plates. I think she was one of the reasons why I got so big, but it was healthy, but I still ate so much that I got bigger. I had to turn to physical fitness because of her for a second. I had to get myself right because she was going to make me big, but I knew that it was all because of love. And every time that was one of the other things, she always made sure that at the services or at the events, she was doing so much. Not only was she speaking, she was preparing things, food, whatever, to help feed the community, and feed the people that were there. That was one thing. If you weren't mentally fed, spiritually fed, she would definitely make sure that your belly was fed and your belly was full. So those were the things that actually made me know how much she actually cared about the community. She was willing to put everything on the line for the emancipation, the mental emancipation, and the spiritual upliftment of her community, her people, but she cared enough to give even more. And interestingly enough, I had to hop on this. I'm not even using my phone. My phone's been acting crazy. I had to, when I heard about this is when my phone, when I heard about her being sick, I actually heard that from Chief Paimba. He left a message, and my phone was acting so crazy. I didn't even realize it. I checked it about 3 days ago. That was the only time I was able to check. I heard the message. I was like, she'll be fine. I was like, come on, it's Auntie Osun Dara. She'll be fine. It's nothing. It's nothing. She's got a remedy for everything. She's probably gonna sip on some eucalyptus water, and she'll be good. And then I got the call from my mother the next day and told me that she had passed. That was really tough to swallow because honestly I didn't believe it. I kind of thought, what are you talking about? She's got way too much more to give, way too much more to do. That kind of doesn't make sense to me. But then I realized that when individuals have put so much energy into helping the rest of the world, there comes that time where it is their time to rest.
Yes.
And it's earned.
Yes.
When someone of that magnitude and of that ability to connect, unify, and even free the minds or work towards freeing the minds of people, of your people, and trying to uplift you to a place where you can see yourself at the same light as what created you.
Yes. Yes.
You have that time to rest. It's her time to rest, and she earned that. Yeah. And not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So she will be missed. It is a major loss. I'm still trying to soak it in, but the only thing that I remember is the good things. There's not one negative thing that I can speak about my auntie, and that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to stay, and she's going to rest in power.
Yes, rest in power. And then, want to bring in the president of Golf in the Raw, Ms. Thin. And let me congratulate Adora. Adora has a new television show. Yay! With
it's with the plant-based network.
Plant-based network, and that's the reason. That's the kind of thing that Queen Mother likes: food, healthy food. So she promotes. Yeah, Dora, talk about the Queen. Talk about the Queen. You're known as the Queen yourself. Talk about our Queen here. Go ahead.
Not to as grand of a scope that Queen Mother Osun Dara was.
Still a young one.
First and foremost, I want to say ndewo to everybody, and my condolences, Ashiki and Simone, to the loss of your mom and the loss of your mother-in-law.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I remember there's a picture that I saw when I was young, and I was tiny, but my mother was there, Nkosasana was there, Queen Mother was pouring libations, and my grandmother and my grandfather were present. And I am the type of person still to this day who gets like starstruck by certain people. So imagine me that tiny, just staring at all these individuals like, what's going on here? And you feel like you're in something that's really great. That picture holds a lot of power because I was there to see all of these great people there. And most of them are no longer here. She was not only for me, just like my brother said, there's women in your life that you meet that are just such powerful presences that when you stand amongst them, you know that there's something different about them. The way that they command a room, the way that they command people. The only three people that I know, strong women in my life, is my mother, was Queen Mother Osun Dara, and my grandmother. When those three were in a room, people fell silent. There was nothing, there's something that they say, it's quiet, ain't no back talk. Because when they spoke, you listened. The energy, the wisdom, the lessons that you can learn from a few words was pivotal. When I was in Nkomi, which is the dance troupe that my mom did when we were little, she was our biggest cheerleader. She was at every performance. You will see her standing regally, but you see her going like, yeah, I get it. and just so supportive of us. And we loved every minute of it. I always, of course, called her auntie. And, her was, Adora, my love. What are you doing? Just super comforting. And she was also a big part in the veganism that I started when I was younger. It would be funny because I'm like, well, people are not kind of understanding what I'm doing. And then when I would talk to her, it's like, yes, use this, use that. This is for this. And I'm like, yes, so it was, she was so helpful in that journey because you have to nourish the mind with words, but you also have to nourish the body.
Yes.
Both intertwine with each other. Yes. So I've been a vegan for 23 years now, and I can't say that she was not pivotal in that. And I will always remember and keep that with me. She was excited when she found out I was pregnant with the littles. She would always, when I speak, how are my babies? How are my grandbabies? I'm like, well, they're kicking and driving me crazy, but they're good. And they're can't believe that how much time flies now that they're 7 and 8. But when my mom called me, yeah, they're big boys. When my mom called me, we've had like, when we have a loss in the family, there's always something that triggers or there's something that happens. It's either really quiet outside or it's really calm and really still. And so when she called me, it was like, hey, Mom. Then she got quiet. And I was like, something is not right here. And as soon as she said, Osun Dara, I screamed. I was like, nope, no. Like that kind of, you're lying, get off the phone. I don't want to hear it. This is a joke. She's going to be okay. No. She has an elixir for everything. Like my brother said, there's no way that we're not going to put 1 and 2 together to find out how to combat this. It was not until last night that it hit me and I just lost it and started bawling. In our culture, we don't mourn, we celebrate. It's normal to cry. You must get it out. You're missing this individual. But we also know that the body is just a physical vessel. They're never gone. They're never, ever gone. Yeah. But she is in such great company. She has joined great company. Yeah. And those powerful individuals will always be watching to make sure that we are living up to what we said we were going to do. That's right. Making sure that we are not getting into any trouble. Making sure that if I decide to even look at some meat, she's going to come after me. Yeah, it has to be. I will never stray away. And in my home, I have a memorial wall, and every morning, my grandmother's on there, my grandfather's on the wall. We have some other relatives that have passed, and every single morning, I always say hello. There's not one moment where I don't go and speak to them. I will be adding Auntie to that wall and always speaking to her because she is ever present. And my littles will know who she is. Maybe not physically, but they will know who she is because her name will not be forgotten. Her name will be spoken through this home and will be spoken within our circles. Yes. Fihankro was another experience with her. Yeah. I was in my teens. And that was just like a whole nother, you would think the Beatles had showed up or to this equivalent now BTS. It was so otherworldly that it's so hard to describe in one word. But if I had to, I would just say, wow. And to be a part of that, to see those who actually were there for the purpose of making sure that Africans in diaspora didn't forget where they came from. Yeah. And we'll keep making sure that they know that this is a truth that needs to be fed to you. Yeah. There's so much more than what the television shows or the reasons why they don't want you to know. Yeah. But I'm going to make sure, come hell or high water, you guys are going to know where you're from. We are not different. It was a transportation that separated us, but we are not separated from where we are from. or who we are as a people.
Yes.
The lessons, the love,
Yes.
the energy,
Yes.
was everything.
Yes.
And I always make sure that I carry bits and pieces of what I've been taught and incorporate it into my life and what I share with my children, what I share with other people that I meet. And there's not one lesson that I don't think I will ever not imply daily.
Okay.
She was incredible. Again, we celebrate her.
That's right.
And she will be missed, but she's not gone.
She's not gone.
And yes, and I'm sure that Noha and KLK are like, aha.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now, you're with us now. We still got work to do. It's not over. So let's go. I'm welcoming her.
They're right there. Yeah.
I want to share this. First of all, I think it was Nandi that said this about point of libation. I had one experience where we were pouring libations in Detroit, and some people had difficulty with seeing a woman pouring libation. I was the one to pour it, and this guy had something to say. A queen mother just came right in front of him and said, "Do you know she's a priest? Do you know she's a priest? Who are you? Who are you? Go away!" I told him, "Go." She had go away. I said, "Do you know your mother? Do you know the first libation was your mother when you fell out of her? That's the first libation." I mean, that poor guy stood there like, "Okay, I get it. That's her. She does not take mess. That's Queen Mother." And her, I'm telling you, most of us feel so proud and strong when you're around her, because she'll shut the mess down in a heartbeat. She didn't care, what anybody thought, because she shouldn't care. She had the power. When you have the power, you don't care what people think. You just do what you've done. When I asked a libation ceremony we were having, I asked for people to join me for that libation ceremony. Some of them could not. Queen Mother was in California, and she said, "Well, I'm not going to be able to be there. I'm not going to be on the show, but I'll do the video for you." So I want to share this libation video that she did. It's very powerful, and I want you all to hear her. For this right now, I just want us to hear her voice, just to hear her voice and the kindness for me, for her to do this video for me. I mean, I hold this, and I thank Simone for helping her put it together, because this is precious for me. It's very precious, and it's going to be part of my archive that I'm going to make part of my repertoire. So here we go.
Many times in Africa, West Africa, they use cola. They say, "He who brings cola brings long life." So we want to honor our great spirits, our great ancestors. The sky take cola, we say Ashe. The mountains take cola, we say Ashe. The rivers take cola, we say Ashe. The ancestors and our great mother, Asesipa, known as many times Ia, a Mother Earth, take cola, we say Ashe. When you use cola, it's very important. In our traditions, many of the ancestors, in Ghana, they use what is called snaps. They use the alcohol because it was only done to call on the spirits. That's why it's called spirits. Iba Orisha. Ashe o. Iba ancestors. Ashe. Modupio, Modupio, Modupio. Inside, inside, inside. We know that there are so many of our ancestors. There were millions. We know that this institution is our place of giving honor to those who have paid their dues. I call on the spirit of Empress Tanakatula, who was the empress of this land in which we now stand. Empress Tanakatula, we say Ashe. Empress here, Augustus Elbe, Ashe. To the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, we say Ashe. We say Ashe. To the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the father of African liberation, we say Ashe. We say Ashe to Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr., who just recently became an ancestor to Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr. We say Ashe. We say Ashe to Empress, or sometimes they say Queen Khalifa, who was the queen of this land, which we call a Mexum, all the way to Venezuela, California. We say Ashe. We call upon the spirit and the blessings of Tutagmosis, Ashe. We call upon Pharaoh Akhenaten, Ashe. To all those great ones, Queen Nefertiti, Queen Nefertari, we call upon the spirit and the blessings of our royal prince, Malcolm X, Malik El-Haj Shabazz. We say Ashe. We call upon the spirit of Nana Kwame Atta. We say Ashe. We know that this is the ancient land of our ancestors, which is West Amexem, which has been here for over 5,000 years BC. We know that millions of our ancestors, we're standing on the bosom of them. So please participate. Call out the ancestors. Call out the ancestors. Ashe. 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 King Sunyata Keite. Ashe. 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 We know, as I said to you before, it would take 7 days and then some to call out all the names of all of our ancestors. To all of those whose names we have not spoken today, may they not be offended, because we know when we look in the mirror, we will see the ancestors. We know each time and every time a new birth is taking place in our community, that our ancestors are coming back through the unborn children. May our children and our children's children's children long live their spirits. So to those whose names we have not spoken, to those of whom we have not forgotten, may all their spirits come. May we all give honor to all of those great spirits whose names we have not called. We say, Ashe! Ashe! Ashe!
That was so powerful, man.
Oh,
That was powerful.
Powerful.
Wow.
I swear. He said, well, you know, I'm going to say this. I that was very moving, and that's a treasure for me. Let me just say that there are two people who are trying to get into this broadcast, but they seem not to be able to. Try to, you know, Simone has not been able to, and Saba G, I'm not sure why, but their devices are not connecting, but they are with us. I can see that they're trying to be here. So thank you. At least I see Saba G. I think Chief just gave up because he can't seem to get in.
Yeah, she just texted me and said she couldn't get in.
Yeah, I texted her to say what she needs to do, but I'm not sure, you know, but that's okay. I see that she's listening because she's making comments, and so there are some comments that she's making. So let me just read what comment she says. In speaking about references to Africa, Black Egyptians, you know, she says that we not to mention the real ancient Black Egyptians who are left out and still under siege. You know, so because when we talk about Egypt, it's almost like we talk about the white Egypt. You know, we ignore the Black Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what she's talking about. They are still under siege right now. But I wanted to say to all of us, and I want us to talk about this. Remember, I don't have any time constraints. If you get ready to leave, you let me know. Sabaji says, yes, I'm here. It's been a joy and honor. Sister, thank you, baby. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad because Queen Mother knows you're here now. She knows you're here. Yeah. She knows. Thank you. So, you know, when somebody says, well, how do you honor people who you love who have passed away? Now, one of the ways is what we're doing right now, honoring them, speaking of them. We believe that as long as we speak of them, they live. You know, when you don't remember them, they don't live. But you know, anytime you hear you say Asheo, you know who say it. When you hear that unexpected, you know. So, but one of the things that we can do to show love for our departed, you know, I lost my mother, and we're going to her funeral in December, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. To rest in Nigeria, and you know, my mother was supposed to. She told me she would try to be there. She said, "I'm going to try and come." You know, she and my mom, they really loved each other, but they're together because mom is gone and she's gone, and they're together. They can talk to each other now without constraints. But some of the things that we have to do, besides talk about them in this manner, is do something special on their birthday. You know. On her birthday, you have to send us information on her birthday. Let's celebrate. You know, whatever it is we have to do, that's how you keep people alive. We you know, we celebrate her birthday. Okay. Let's see. This is who again? Okay. That's cheap. Okay. Then the other things that we can do in support of the let me remove this one. In support of Queen Mother is some of the causes that she believed in. What are some of the causes she believed in? Let's support those. You know, it may take research on our part. What are some of the things she likes to do? You know, let's support it. You know, maybe she liked to help children. You know, does she have a children's program? Maybe she liked to help women. Well, what was it she loved to do? Let's find out what those things are and give support, because you keep calling her name in that manner. What about support for places she loved to visit? Places she loved to visit. Now and then, just go there. I know she loves the river, didn't she? She loved to go to the river and pour libations. Oh, yeah. You know, you can go there and pour libations. And dedicate something to her, just like you've said. And that is why I'm going to repeat it, guys. Please, we should be able to raise $1 million, really, for all she's done for the city of Detroit. If everybody pulled in, even if everybody pulled in $1, how many people live in Detroit? How many people in Detroit know her? You don't have to give $1 million. You don't have to give 100. Hey, you don't even have to give 20. Give 1, give 2, whatever. If enough There's an African proverb that says, as opposed to tafo. When everybody comes together, we become a powerful force. You see, so if we all donate to her program, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at the possibility of building what we say that we're going to do. Does anybody want to add anything else that can be done in her honor to remember her? Anybody else?
Yes, she's. We were before she transcended, we were working on the UTWA. She's been for years trying to get this going. What that stands for is Universal Traditional Wisdom and Ancestry. So what she's been trying to do was formulate that, because she didn't want the spirituality of our traditions to be wiped away. So what she was trying to do is preserve that. As Uncle Udi said, like when it came to spirituality, she was on a whole nother level. And she always taught me, well, you have this European stuff, then that's religion. But this right here is spirituality, and this is real, and it exists, you know, and you could feel it. And she just is the realness of spirituality and African spirituality, traditional spirituality. And that's what she wanted to preserve, because as we know, the big three religions, as the Muslims, Christianity, and the Jew groups, they pretty much took over the belief system of people. That so what we were trying to do is preserve those traditions that we have in some shape, form, or fashion by working with individuals that are on the continent as well, that are here in America or anywhere in the world, that are practicing the traditional ways that their ancestors have passed on to them. So we were working together on that. Now what we have found out is there are a lot of programs through the United Nations and through America that have funds for us. So what I was going to do, picking up that torch, is to work with everyone that wants to join this. Then we can utilize those funds to uplift our people. Because as you well know, that they've somewhat turned Africa more into a tourist place, or they try to showcase it to the Europeans or to other places, and we're not, and we're beyond that, you know. So it's to show who we truly are and what we truly give to the world in our true spirituality, our true being and trueness. So that's what we're trying to formulate and get those funds, so people understand, no, we exist as a people and exist as one, and that spirit lives within us and universally.
And
yes,
I had spoken a lot about UTWA and what the vision was, as far as Nana was saying when she was in California. We were talking 2 o'clock in the morning about UTWA and what she envisioned for it. And we were talking about how she wanted to bring Africa to here, doing Zoom meetings to start off with, and her teaching on what she called, you know, we came up with the name African Indigenous Spirituality, which encompasses all of the traditions and the societies that she's a part of around the world, you know, in the Caribbeans, here in the United States, in Africa, and teaching about all of those things. And not only her teaching, but seeing if people from those different societies in these different areas in the Caribbean and Africa would also teach on the spirituality. So we were talking about that. She was very excited about that, as far as creating an opportunity for people overseas, because she has the people, and they would be able to partake in learning the traditions in the diaspora. So she was talking about that, and when she got back, we were waiting because, as you know, we have the Atticus. So we were waiting for that to come into play, and then we would put it on the Atticus. But we weren't able to, with the whole situation, able to take off with it like she wanted to, or, get it started. But under the UTWA, just preserving the traditions that in the diaspora, and that was what she really wanted to do, and just creating opportunities for people, in our different societies that she was a part of. And so we want to keep that going. And I do want to talk to you, Dr. Ola, as far as Dr. Uwa, as far as us, keeping that alive.
Absolutely. I love it. Yes, we have to talk about it. We have to work together. We have to make it a reality. And that's just it. That's how we are going to keep her memory going, So yes, please, let's have a moment where we can discuss this and see where we go from there. I'm all in for that. Anyone else want something else that we can be doing in support of her? And I just want to add that in July, we're going to have, because she was part of the organization OTRA, Organization of Traditional Religions in Africa. She was part of that. So we're going to have our international conference. You remember that. We're going to have our conference, and certainly I'm going to invite both of you to represent her. And it's going to be exciting because it's going to be different religions, African spiritual religions coming together to have conversations about way forward. Where do we go from here? What do we do to impact very positively on the continent, and certainly here, the African American community? How do we get connected, serious connection, So, I mean, there are all kinds of programs. I don't know if she was part of the Pan-African Federalist movement. Was she? Do you know? I don't know if she was.
Not sure if she was or not.
I don't know.
I know she listed a lot of different societies.
Okay.
I know she listed told me a lot of different societies, but I didn't write everything down.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't write all the different societies because she was going to reach out, and she was going to tell me, get back with me on that. Yeah. But I didn't. She started mentioning some societies that she's a part of, but she didn't. I didn't write everything down at the moment because we were coming back to it.
Yeah. Well, for us in the Godwin religion, she's still the high chief priest for the western part of the United States, and that's not.
Yeah.
She's still that, and we'll hold her in high esteem for that. And so, whatever is of interest to her,
she was
because it's
multicultural, and the Indians, the Mother Wisdom's Church, and the Mother Wisdom's Church. Yeah. And so it's difficult to just put her in a category. She served all of these. And one thing, and I didn't know how she found time for it. She had dinners at her house, and she would invite people so that they could interact with each other.
Yeah, she was a part of a lot of things. And but for our part, she was part of us as well. So we're going to celebrate from our perspective, as well as other people celebrating her perspective. We want to make sure that in our organization, she's well represented, just like His Holiness would want it. just like Noah will want it. She's part of us. She's part of the ecclesiastical order.
Yes.
Her name will always be there. We appreciate
she's a guardian saint.
She's a saint now.
Right?
Yeah.
She's a guardian saint.
Yeah.
So even though she was part of that, and she was part of this, and she did this, and she did that, and she, affiliated with all these different groups. But in Chiism, in guardianism, she has a home. She is part of our ecclesiastical order.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
Until somebody says otherwise, she is a guardian saint.
Yeah.
She has a home in African spirituality.
And we're going to do an event for that.
And when we extol her,
we're going to give her her sainthood.
When we extol her, let me explain something.
Yes.
Part of the guardian sainthood includes Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the first president of Nigeria.
Yes.
All right. The great revolutionary Mbonu Ojike.
That's right.
These are the founding fathers of Nigeria. Ahai is a guardian saint.
Yeah.
Noah is a guardian saint.
Yes.
These are people that transcended the ordinary.
Yes.
Yes.
Queen Mother Osun Dara is in that ilk because she devoted her life.
Yes.
For the fight for the emancipation of the African mind. Very important.
Yes.
The emancipation of the African mind.
Yeah.
It's not all about the right to vote. It's not all about taking the chains off your limbs. It's about having the mindset to understand that without this mindset, the next generation have nothing. She understood that.
Yeah.
And she devoted her life in affiliating with every organization out there that she felt was in the same fight as she is in.
Yes.
She is one of the people that recognize Chiism, guardianism, as a religion, traditional African spirituality, that people of African ancestry should at least
pay attention
around something, just like the Europeans, when their national security is at stake, they rally around Christianity. When the Arabs' identity is at stake, they rally around Islam. The Indians, when their national identity is at stake, they rally around Hinduism and Sikhism. The Japanese rally around Shintoism.
Yes.
Who or what do we as Africans rally around? Guardianism was the first African spiritual organization to make this case at the United Nations, and Chief Mother Osun Dara was right there.
Wow.
So as far as we're concerned, until you find something else for her to belong to, she belongs to us. She's a saint. She is our saint, and we're going to explore her as such.
Yes.
And until you have another organization out there that can make such claim, she is ours, and that's it.
You know, and if, you know, because, and then we're going to have a day, you know, we're going to have a day that we're going to actually do a ceremony. And we're going to come, myself and my brother and Nnamdi, we're going to come, whichever group of us here are able to come and give her that sainthood, that honor. I will come to Michigan and do that. She is there right now, but you know, Michigan, and a lot of the
she's earned it.
She's earned it. A lot of the, in addition to everything we're going to be doing, you know, that's going to be done for her, this sainthood is going to travel internationally, because all the guardian religions in Africa, they're going to know that she's one of our saints, and they'll have her name on their tongue and have her on the wall, just like this. Yes, we're going to have her on the wall too. You know, that's a saint that looks like me and you. We need more saints that look like us. But that is that's, well, you know what, this, we can go on and on and on about Queen Mother Osun Dara. I want to read something that she's about to and Dr. Nabantu is also a chief. She went to Nigeria with me and Kalena, my daughter Kalena, and they were both made chiefs. And so Nabantu Akwanda is a chief. He is a Nigerian chief. She's a one Dinamba of Nigeria. So we have another chief in the house. Kalena is in the house too. I see her writing on here. So she says that ancestor Baba Medahochi, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, who I have been told was the first African American initiated in Cuba in the tradition of Ifa, had the same idea of bringing all traditional spiritual traditions together, has left many godchildren still interested in making this a reality. And let me know who they are, because the Ultra conference in July is supposed to incorporate all the different, African spiritual traditions, because we Africans never fought over religion. We never did. As a matter of fact, I will come to your shrine and swear by your shrine, because we never fought about religion. You see, so it's important for us to enact that spiritual concept of oneness by bringing all the different traditions together and worshiping the Creator in whatever name you have for them. As long as we are African people, we need to understand that our spirituality is just as powerful as anyone else's. We're not criticizing anybody's spirituality. That's not the thing. We're just saying ours is just as powerful, and we need to honor everyone that has fought to make that the case. And so it is. I want to play this little song for Queen Mother. She loved it. She loved it with a passion. She loved it. That song. Every time you sing her, she sings. So I'm going to play that song for a minute. You're going to love it too. Okay. Just a little bit of it. But that was her favorite song. Okay, that favorite Ghanaian song. Here she is.
Ụlọ nsọ gị Chukwu ka ị na-abata, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Anya bịawa ịsọpụrụ gị ugbu a, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Bịa o bịakwute ya, bịa o bịakwute ya, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Chukwu nna n'ụlọ gị ka ị na-akpọ gị, bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Otito na-adịrị gị.
Yeah, that was her song, and she will sing it too. Bịakwute ya bịa zuru ike. Once I say she goes bịakwute ya. She was that curious. She wanted to know, and she knew a lot. We were we're missing Queen Mother, but I tell you, what she has left behind will last us for 10 lifetimes.
Yeah.
So I am so honored to have had the opportunity to have this meeting with you, this honoring session, with you. Yeah. We're looking forward to coming to Michigan to make her for her funeral rites. We certainly will be there, and I hope to pour libation. Again. Oh, you know I'm going to do it right now. You know I'm going to pour it. You know I'm going to hit it. You know it. You know
already on the number 1 list. That is no argument.
You know it. So by honoring Mother.
Now, if anybody wants to do any libations, it must be after you have done your part.
There you go. They can do their own, but Sister's going to get the Nigerian libations. That's We're going to get it. She's one of us. And by honoring her, we are ensuring that her memory and accomplishments continue to live on. Even though she's no longer with us, Paimba keeps trying to come in, and he's still having technical difficulties. Any last words from any one of you? Please go right ahead. Any last words?
Well, my mom will always says, "I love you." That's one thing that she taught me is unconditional love, and that everyone is good. and everyone has that in them. And the same thing that some of the things that you've taught her, even Auntie, has passed on from your father, your mom, has passed on to me through her in terms of that love and that guardianism, and that we have that spirit, you know, that they wish they had. So that spirituality is us. Yes. And I love you all and thank you all. That's one thing she taught me, is to love my people. And you are my family, so I have great love for you all. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was an excellent experience for me, and honoring Nana. I mean, it just, you know, it's like I'm crying, I'm celebrating, I'm joyful, I'm everything at the same time. And I thank you so much for doing this. This means a lot to me. And I don't know, I just don't have words for how I feel about this, but I'm feeling even more joy in my heart, because I know that she's with us.
Yes.
And she's not going anywhere, and her legacy will continue.
Yes.
And so I am so happy that, like you said, she's there with the ancestors. She's doing a new work now. She's doing a new work, and it's able to help us here while we're here too. So I'm just very grateful that she's in my life. I'm not going to say she was in my life, because she's still in my life. And I just feel very blessed. I feel very blessed at this moment to for this gathering and for the meeting and for the celebration.
Yes. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Anyone else want to add something?
Yeah, mine is just let's remember the selflessness, how selfless she was about what she did.
Yes.
The idea that she embraced our collective frustrations.
Yes.
And tried to offer solutions and tried to live an exemplary life, you know, for her children and for people around her to know that there is hope.
Yes.
There is really hope. And the only way to, you know, validate that hope is not to disappoint her legacy.
Yes.
To continue the fight.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, it took 1,000 years for Rome to fall.
Yes.
But Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Black folks have already proven that we could survive just about anything. We survived the Great Passage. We survived colonization. We were split all over the world.
Yes.
We're still here.
Yes.
It is very important that people of African ancestry, regardless of where you are, see yourselves as one. Because like Maya Angelou said, you could go into a fight with your hands open, but all you're going to do is slap your opponent.
Yes.
But if you ball your hands together as a fist, you will strike a mighty blow.
They say it again.
But we're all together in this fight, so let's go out there and fight.
Yep, that's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right into the end.
That's right. Anyone else want something to add an ending statement? Namdi, Adora?
Yes.
Paimba?
I do.
Okay.
I kind of want to piggyback on what my brother was saying about Auntie's couscous. So yeah, that wasn't a joke. If there was couscous present and there was plantains present, you made sure that she made sure there was extra, because Namdi and I were like, oh yeah, let's go. Take it off and sneak. And again, just like we were saying, words and nourishment for the brain, food and sustenance, that things that are organic. She was very anti non-GM, like GMO, like, which I highly am. And teaching the importance of not putting certain things in your body. She always said, you know, your body is a temple.
Yes.
And one of the things that I will always say is, if I'm not going to put that in my body, why would I put it in my children's body?
That's right.
You have to teach and keep leading. What I would like to do or propose is two things. since she was very, very much into health, I was wondering if it would be like a cool idea, especially in Detroit, to invest in a lot or something for urban farming and do like a garden in her name.
Yeah.
We have land
already.
We have land for
that. We have land.
Yeah.
Perfect. I will get your information from my mom, and we will keep in touch about that, because I would like to help in any way that I can. The other thing too is, if you have that recipe that she has made for her couscous on my show, I will make it.
Call her name. Give it her name.
It will be called the Osun. I'll have a name for it, but definitely will be named after her.
Yeah.
That way, you're not only connecting people, because people are connected with food, but there is a very, very big, especially in the times that we're living in, where health is becoming front and center now more than ever. And I would just love to go ahead and recreate it, and that way that the viewers can recreate it themselves. It's like sharing a part of her through what we know and what I knew growing up when I was little with other people. So I'm going to do that, and I am also going to connect with you in regards to the garden and urban farming.
Thank you, Adora.
Let's do this. Yes. Who else has something to say? You said everybody has said what they have to say.
Yeah, I'd like to say something really quick.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be very brief, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of quiet most of the time, but I would like to say that I'm thoroughly grateful for what was put together today. I would like to say to my mother, Ma, thank you for introducing Auntie Osun Dara to me, because with that introduction, even at a young age, as a man, and having these types of inspirational individuals, especially women, I'm not going to say strong Black women, because you guys don't have to put strong in front of what you already know you are and what she's already been. But what she did was she gave me something to look up to, as far as when it comes down to other women that I aspire to be around, and what I aspire to continue to look for in other women. You're not called a queen and queen mother for nothing. These aren't titles that you just give yourself to uplift yourself. These are titles that you have to earn. And she earned hers.
Yes.
And I can say that she's earned hers without just saying, oh, this is what she is. No, when hundreds, if not thousands of people will put you on that level because you saw them as equating to something higher than themselves, then you've earned that title.
That's right.
And she's done that. And I would like to, once again, thank you very much for introducing that level of caliber for me to see. And Ashiki, I definitely want to say, bro, your mother was great, man. She really was.
Thank you.
Again, all the condolences and much respect, and for keeping that going. I see you have a queen next to you yourself, man. You guys just keep growing and keep flowing and keep going. Keep that energy passing on through the generations. So thank you guys.
I want to remind
you.
Please.
Thank you. Much love. Thank you.
If you don't have, if you haven't written this down, go to Queen Mother Nana Osun Dara Facebook page. Please go there and see all of the accolades being, poured on her, as well as where they are receiving funds. I've had it scrolling most of the time, so hopefully people have written it down. If you have not, go to her Facebook page. It shows you where her memorial website is, where you can do this, you can make your donations. And don't be bashful. It doesn't have to be big. Don't be intimidated by people who donate 100, 200, 300. Don't be intimidated by that. Just whatever it is you can give, you know, whatever you can give is just as good as the 300 or whatsoever. But it's the more of us that give. You know, when I leave here now after this show, I don't have $1 million to give, but I'm going to give whatever I can, you know, because it's the right thing to do. We're just saying thank you. You know, we're just saying thank you.
Thank you.
Money that we would have wasted on something, let's put it into good use and honor this woman and let her know and let her family know that we appreciate their mother. You know, because I've got to at the end. Let's be clear on this. Everything that she was doing, she was taking time away from her family. That's how devoted she was to the community. You see what I'm saying? So they sacrificed for all the good that we got. So it's imperative that we offer whatever we can to let this family know that we appreciated your mother. We appreciate you for letting her in our lives. You know, thank you so much. And on that note, we are going to call it a day. Yeah, Gazier, I see you. I look forward to seeing you in Michigan and where we can do more celebrating. And so it is.
Yes.
Okay. I have to thank all those who are on the show. I always have to do that. Young John, it doesn't always tell me everybody, but those that I can see. Aina Taiwo T. Boy, Matthew C. Lewis, Ukuna Charles, Ibisike Victor Echinyere, K.O. Miri, Kafani Nkwame Ano, Dr. Nobantu Ankowanda, Dr. Obi Onyo Pierce, and there's so many. I can't read all of this, you know. But the viewers watch this program on Global Faith Ministries of Chiism on Facebook page, and Chiism Live on Facebook page, and Chiism Live on YouTube. So we had some people, and I want to thank Saba G, even though she wasn't able to come in, but I can tell that she was here, and Chief Paimba, who has been trying to get back in, but we want to thank them for their contribution and for their time and patience with us. So on that note, I love you all, and I am going to say we will see again. This time we are going to see and so it is.
Much love.
It's so lovely.
Hi, guys. Here. Hi, guys. Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.